Lakers superstar LeBron James has reignited the controversy when asked about Houston Rockets GM Daryl Morey's tweet.
He wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke, and so many people could have been harmed, not only financially but physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just be careful what we tweet and we say and what we do. Even though, yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that, too.
Well, he later clarified his statement on Twitter, which sparked further outrage on social media. That's what happens there. Activists in Hong Kong and even U.S. politicians jumping in or jumping on LeBron. Here with us now, Jabari Young, CNBC's national sports business reporter. Jabari, welcome back. We heard what LeBron said. What did he do by way of either clarifying what he meant or which seems now to have muddied the waters even further? What was his follow-up comment?
Well, you know, I think the follow-up comment just went on for him to explain, listen, I'm not getting involved with the context of Daryl Morey's tweet. It was more about him taking a stance. This is what LeBron James does. This is what he has to do because he's one of the top-tier players in the NBA. He has to be the voice for the voiceless. He has to be the voice for those guys in the NBA who can't comment. And who more qualified than to talk about the incident than a guy like LeBron James, who's been going to China for over 10 years straight. And the players are kind of upset at this whole issue is because it's them who built that relationship with China. It's them who put it all on the line. It's their sneaker companies who send them over there every summer to build that relationship. It's not only through basketball, but for them to learn the culture. And by Daryl Morey's tweet, that jeopardized all that. That harmed all that. And that's why a lot of players are upset. And at the very fact that the NBA used Russell Westbrook and James Harden to apologize for Daryl Morey's comment when Daryl Morey was nowhere to be found. Where is Daryl Morey, I think, with a lot of NBA players that I've talked to? Where is he at? He should be in front of the cameras. He should be answering these questions, not us.
Yeah, I don't think he's been heard from. I don't want to say that definitively, but yeah. I certainly have not seen him speaking since this whole thing happened. To those who say, LeBron, you are towing the line of Beijing here and being a little too conciliatory, what do you say?
I say that those are probably the same people that said shut up and dribble, the same people who didn't want LeBron James or any other NBA talking about the subjects at hand here in America. Now they want them to speak up for subjects that they may not know about as much as they do here. So that's what I say to them. And those people that are criticizing these players on Twitter or social media, as you mentioned, Tyler, that's where that stuff takes place. I look at that and I just shake my head at it because, you know, you're putting players in a very dangerous position, them talking about things that they really are not as educated about. And let's face it, you're not going to learn about the history of Hong Kong and China in 2-3 weeks. That's going to take years of study. That takes a long time to really learn the conflict. And for those people who are not honoring that time and honoring the relationship that the NBA as well as the players have built up with China. And again, it's not to say that everything that's going over there is right or wrong. They're saying we're not in a position to comment on it because we come over here to try to grow the game of basketball and to get on the same page dialogue-wise so that way we can try to come to some agreement through the sport. And when you harm the sport, then they can't grow other conversations like the one we're having.
They're not just goodwill ambassadors, though.
Yeah.
They've got money on the line.
They got money on the line.
They do, but you know what?
Would they concede that do you think LeBron concedes that, yes, I say this because I've got money on the line in China, and I have to toe that fine line?
Well, I'm glad you said that, Melissa, because the word I've been getting is they're not losing as much money as people think overseas. You know why? Because it's not the NBA that they're making their profits with overseas. They go overseas in the summertime, and the sneaker companies spend millions of dollars to send them there. So they're still going to make their money. And if you don't believe that...
So there's no backlash on that?
I don't believe there's any backlash. And I think the players aren't thinking, hey, we're going to get harmed by this, but yet and still we having to answer for it. Listen, China built a statue of Stephon Marbury. You know where Stephon Marbury is from? New York. So it's not like they don't like the player. They didn't like the league and the stance that they took on such a very sensitive topic.
I know we have to, I will just say on this issue, I know you said, you know, LeBron, he's a voice for the voiceless in the NBA and so forth. You'd be hard-pressed now to name a company in this country that doesn't have involvement with China. And if that means no one involved in any of those companies can speak up for the voiceless in Hong Kong in support of their push for freedom, even if they would feel that way without indicting their company, their college, their affiliations, with their actually... If there's no way to speak up for them, I think that is an issue that needs to be explored as well.
You know what's interesting here to me, in part, and I know we're going over, but I just want to tie it off with this one thought. This is not a case of China sanctioning an American who stood in the middle of Tiananmen Square and said something that was offensive to Beijing. This is a case of China reaching across the ocean and threatening Americans who have said something. For a tweet that
Twitter is not even allowed in China.
Offensive.
Yeah, you
that they
can't
found
even
offensive.
get Twitter in China.
And China has done this in other cases, whether it has to do with Tibet or human rights or Tiananmen Square. So I got the last word. How did that work? I like that. Jabari, thanks.